So, what's going on, guys? This is Brian Pickowitz here at BP Fitness, and this is the Monday Rant. So I got to apologize to you guys. Last week I wasn't able to get this out because I was having some difficulties. It was really windy, but we're back. We're here to make some noise, and we're here to kick off your Monday the right way. And so what I want to talk to you guys about is something I think that is so inherent to who we are as people. It's so inherent to every circumstance that we find ourselves in, especially when we're trying to strive for something better. Whether it's in, how we see ourselves physically, in our health, or it's how we see ourselves just in general to how we treat people. Or it can be in business. Maybe you're trying to strive to accomplish something different in school or in your job, and there's always something that's holding us back. And that's why I want to talk to you guys about limitations. So each one of us has inherent beliefs that construct who we are. Most of them have been laid out from our parents or have come to us through our experiences in life. And so these experiences shape who we are. They shape how we see the world. But a lot of times, if we're in a situation where we're not happy and we're not fulfilled, then we're being led to have the wrong limitations and the wrong beliefs to construct our reality. Now, I want to talk to you guys about an example from my life because I think that's what's going to give you the most value. So for those of you who don't know, I started this business as a personal training business. I started it doing one-on-one sessions, and I started to build my online programs knowing that I wanted to be able to help as many people as possible and that this was the avenue to do it. But when I first started the business and I started to transfer it over, I had a lot of people who came out and opposed me. There was memes made about me. There was a lot of people who said things that, quite frankly, were pretty disgusting about who I was. And it took me a great deal of strength to push through that. But what was harder, the hardest part of this all, was getting to where you're seeing me literally standing right now. I'm standing here at the place that I live currently in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I had to leave. After I graduated, I went back home and I started to think about who I wanted to become, think about the life that I wanted to have, and think about what I wanted my personal brand and everything to be in the next coming years, in the next coming months. And I established that I had to move out from home because in order for me to become who I wanted to, I couldn't do it in the space that I was in. And now what I'm going to tell you guys is about my personal limitations. My limitation was all in my mind. I told myself, well, there's no way that I can create an online company. There's no way that I can move to a space and be able to afford rent and be able to afford all these different things and still be in a position to not have a scarce mindset. Because for me, like I told you guys, I grew up without a whole lot, and so to be in a position where I was thinking in abundance and not just being, I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about not being afraid of scarcity, because each one of us has a scarcity mindset towards a lot of things that we see in life. Scarcity towards how we can actually live our lives, scarcity towards how we can perceive ourselves. And for me, it was scarcity that I'll never be enough. I'd never be enough to be able to create a business on my own. If I move out of this area, am I going to be able to find the value that I feel like fulfills me? I think Tony Robbins talks about we have certain values that each one of us holds to ourselves, and that means something to us. And for me, I value significance as a sense of where I pride my ability to reach people. I don't really care about money. I don't care about those kinds of things, but I do care about the people who I'm able to interact with. I value personal contact. And so I was like, if I'm going to start this business, am I going to be in a position where moving out of this comfort zone into this level of uncertainty where I don't have a gym I can train people at, where I don't have all the connections, and I don't have these certain things that are set up for me to succeed? And it took me a lot of mental strength to push through that. And obviously, if you're watching this now, we've been doing these rants for a few months now, and the business is doing really well, and I'm in a position where I feel like I have found my calling, and I feel like I can actually give you guys something of value. But it took me pushing through that level of uncertainty, pushing through those limitations to get there. And it's the same as when I first started this business. I was in a relationship where I told myself, or I was being told rather, that the things that I wanted to achieve were just completely out of reach and that they didn't make sense. And I had friends around me who would question what I was doing, and they always made fun of me I'd go to parties and people would be like, oh, all that guy cares about is weightlifting. All he cares about is himself. And they saw a small portion of what I was trying to be, and it made them feel inferior. And so what you guys are looking at is the culmination of trying to push through that. And so what you have to say to yourself is that if there's people in your life, it could be your parents, it could be your friends, it could be your boss, whatever it is, whoever it is that's constructing your beliefs, if they're only feeding you negativity, you need to cut them out of your life. And I'm not saying you have to cut them out and be rude. I'm just saying that you have to take their point of view with a grain of salt. You have to decide that you're not going to be subjugated to what they think of you, because what other people think of you is none of your fucking business. I have a rule in life that I try to live by. The only time that I care what people think about me is if everyone thinks I'm an asshole. If that's not the case, then their opinion means shit. Okay, guys? Now you have to decide for yourself what this means. Do you want to start to strive in a different direction? Do you want to say that, the different direction you take is something that you're not completely comfortable with? Are you ready to step in that level of uncertainty? And that's a question that you're going to have to answer for yourself. But what I've been saying is, the limitations that you have in your head, the limitations that you feel when you say, this is what I want to achieve, it's only there because of how you've been raised, the people around you, or because of the environment that you're allowing yourself to be in. Now, if you're in a position where you want to step out of that, it's up to you. It's always up to you. And you're the only person who can do anything about it. So I can make these motivational videos. I can give you some value. I can tell you about my experiences. But if you do not act upon that, then there's nothing that anyone can do to help you. So it's up to you, and it's always up to you. But the limitations that other people are imposing on you do not have to actually exist. They're there to be destroyed, and it's your job to destroy them. And so this is something that I feel so passionately about, because I grew up in an area where everyone would always tell me that I was shit. Coming from Franklin, everyone would make fun of Franklin and tell us how awful we were. And the funny thing is that it was the people around me who said it the most. The people who were my friends, the people who were my, adult mentors, always talked about how bad the area was and how bad everyone thought it was. Truth is that was their way of trying to make themselves feel better by saying, well, everyone says this area is bad, but it's not really that bad. And once I left, I realized that no one gives a fuck where you're from. Only people care about how hard you work, how you treat them, and what you stand for. And so for you, if you're watching this video and you're saying to yourself, wow, there's something that I want to start to pursue, and there's this idea that I have in my head, no matter how crazy it is, but there's also this fear that I'm not going to be able to achieve it, you need to strike that fear down. And you have to ask yourself, where's that fear coming from? Is it coming from a place where you're living with a scarcity mindset because you grew up like me and you weren't sure that you were going to be able to be in a place where you could thrive? Did you, go through some personal experiences where the people around you, made you feel like you weren't ever enough? You have to ask yourself that question. And once you pinpoint where that's from, asking yourself, who's the negative person in my life that's holding me back? You learn how to break through that barrier. And if you can break through that barrier, you can start to construct what you want for your life and destroy all your limitations. So this is a longer one for you guys, but I really wanted to harp on this one because limitations only exist because you allow them to. Limitations are there for us to destroy, and if you can destroy your limitations, you can start to see how powerful you really are. And if you see how powerful you are, you can start to destroy that construct and start to build something new that you can actually feel fulfilled with, and that will add value to other people too. So this is Brian Pickowitz with BP Fitness. This is the Monday Rant. Let me know what you're going to accomplish this week in the comments below. Let's share this message with someone who's in need, and let's strive to put something great into the world this week. I'm really passionate. It's a great time of year. Everyone's great energy. Everyone's building this up. So let's take this time to start to build ourselves in a way that makes us not only feel fulfilled, but starts to realize our true potential. So hope you guys crush your week. I'll see you guys. Boom.